We will be hanging upside down eventually, but speaking of being in good shape, gravity yoga or yoga using aerial silks is what I meant to say, could be a great option. We're going to tell you all about the benefits of gravity yoga coming up next on BT Live from Coquitlam. Stay with us. Exactly. We'll find out a little bit more about the benefits of using silks when you do yoga in a moment, but first let's get into our first warm-up move, Nicole, because we want to make sure everyone's all limber for this.
Okay. Everybody come down onto your knees. Right in front of the hammock, or right behind the hammock. We're going to bring our hands in front. Bring your hands into a prayer position. Bring them back towards you. Wrap them around the fabric. You can either interlace your palms or hold on to opposite sides of the fabric, whatever's most comfortable. Choke down so that you have a nice hold of your wrists. And we're going to begin with cat and cow. So press your chest forward. And as you inhale, come back to center. Sit your hips down onto your heels. And then as you exhale, lift your chest. Drop your head back. Lift your hips and extend your arms.
So Nicole, we'll let everyone continue to do this, but this is based obviously on some of the same yoga moves people might be used to, but where do the silks help? What's the benefit of that?
Silks can help by binding parts of the body so that you can get a deeper stretch. When we go into inversions later, you'll see when the hips are held, you can suspend yourself and get a great decompression through your spine.
Excellent. Let's get Preston into doing downward dog with people right now. And let's talk a little bit about these silks as well. How much weight can they hold?
The actual silk fabric is weighted to 300 pounds, but the rigging that we have in the ceiling is rated to 3,000 pounds.
And I thought it was kind of interesting that you had some very specific people that worked on getting this all set up to make sure it's safe as well, right?
Yes, it was a labor of love to try to find the right people to install them. We went through crane operators and tons of metal workers, and then finally we found riggers from film, and a guy that rigs for Cirque du Soleil put them in for us.
No one better to do that, and we are going to continue to learn the benefits of, well, gravity yoga, which of course is using silks here in Coquitlam. For more details and scheduling, you can go to their website and find a class that's right for you. Literally hanging out. Yes, we are here at Gravity Yoga where we are working through some inversion poses. How does that benefit you, and how is it a little bit easier perhaps using aerial silks? Stay with us. You're watching BT Live from Coquitlam. And we are in Coquitlam, yes, at Gravity Yoga where they use aerial silks to hopefully, Preston, make the moves a little bit easier. Tell us about the first pose that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, so this is a back straddle right now, which is great for spinal decompression.
And what's great about decompressing your spine?
Yeah, it's any kind of spinal issue or joint issues. It's just like an inversion table that you might go into at a physiotherapist, except a lot more comfortable.
Excellent. Let's go into our next move. And we're actually, before we do that, let's see what Paul is doing, because I do yoga. A lot of our viewers probably do. This is something that might be familiar to them.
Yeah, this is pigeon pose on the floor. So we're opening the quad. It's a back bend and also a hip opener. It's a little more challenging on the floor, though.
So now we're seeing everybody do it in the silks. How does that make it easier?
It's a lot easier when you're upside down. Just all you have to do is relax into the pose. A lot more accessible for everybody.
Because you can actually reach back a little bit easier potentially. How do you not fall out of the silks?
Yeah, so the silk is holding you in right along your sacrum, above your tush. So as long as it's in the right place, which it is, there's no risk of falling out.
Excellent. Let's do one final move, which I can't imagine I'd ever be able to do a handstand.
Yeah. It's a lot more accessible in the hammock, yeah.
So we're seeing that happen right now.
Yeah.
Is there a certain element where you actually have the muscle memory being developed when you're using the silk, because it might help you later on?
Absolutely. So you're building strength and also working on balance. So when you practice this in the hammock, it makes it a lot more familiar once you get to it on the floor.
How long does it take you to be able to learn to do one of these? Like if there's a beginner that just wants to try it out? Yeah.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. There you go. Well, if you want to try Gravity Yoga here in Coquitlam, you can check out their website for more details. Michelle, perhaps makes it a little bit more accessible for people that are not as balanced, maybe not as flexible. I don't know. Is there anyone in the room like that?
That looks like a lot of fun. Add a little fun to your yoga.
We are here, yes, at Gravity Yoga. We're coming up after the break. I'm going to see if I can do this and the benefits of this particular movement coming up next on BT. Stay with us. Thanks very much, Jody. I'm already in the silk, just getting ready for the next pose because it might take me a bit longer to get into the silks than most. But Nicole, what are you doing right now?
So this is Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose on the floor. My hips are fairly tight, so my knees sit quite high, and it's quite a bit of pressure on my legs, and I'm on my sitting bones. So I'm going to move it into the hammock to show you the benefit of doing this in the hammock.
Okay.
So we step up right here I'm using core strength. I'm using all my stabilizing muscles so that I don't swing all around. I'm going to hold on.
And I'm going to try as we go here too.
So you're going to
helping me.
Bring the soles of your feet together,
okay,
and your knees on the back of the hammock. And we're just going to slowly lower down. So now you're still not stabilized in the hammock. You need to bring one arm through and then the other arm through. And then we sit our hips down. So now I'm getting a nice release through my lower back as well and through my hips. So gravity is just working.
That's a lot
magic.
Better than, because I've done the one on the floor and I find it very difficult because I'm not very open in the hips. So this definitely, I can feel the difference and the benefits of using the aerial silks in this case. How do we go from here now to the next part?
So we're going to hold on right around the ribs, not too low so you don't trap your fingers underneath you. And we're going to fold forward.
Okay, good luck.
Now getting even a deeper release.
Okay.
And then from here, there's lots of possibilities. You can take twists from here. You can do more back opening.
I have the big question here. How do I get back up?
Reach your arms up.
Okay.
Make sure your elbows are bending out to the sides.
Yep.
And lift yourself back up. Ta-da.
Well, there you go, and I didn't do that before, so if I can do it, most people can. Lots of benefits here at Gravity Yoga. By the way, they have a big open house coming up on April 5th. It is free, and you've also got a challenge that's coming up. For more details, you can go to gravityyoga.ca. Today, though, we are here at Gravity Yoga in Coquitlam. We're going to take in one of the most important poses coming up next. We're going to do a little Shavasana. Stay with us. We're doing yoga in the aerial silks. Yeah, thanks very much, Jody, here at Gravity Yoga in Coquitlam, where we will get into Shavasana, our final pose, coming up in a moment. But first off, Preston, we're going to actually get into something called Plow, which most people will know from regular yoga.
Absolutely. So you'll bring your feet up into the hammock and stretch your legs out straight. And then scoop the end of the hammock up over your feet.
Okay.
Okay, lay back. Your head and your neck are exposed here, and the hammock will just scoop up around the tops of your shoulders.
Okay.
Reach up with your hands, place your thumbs into the hammock, and then wrap the hammock around your arms. Lift your feet up overhead. Feet come back behind you. Yeah, hips
just
are
like
nice
this.
and high.
Okay. And now if we want to get into final Shavasana, which a lot of people sort of, brush off as being the last pose, but it is an important pose, right?
Yeah, so just let your hips come down behind you, stretch your legs out, scoop the hammock up around your head,
and then have a rest. Right?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, it truly is a beautiful way to end any yoga practice. And in the silks, I would think it lets people just really let go, right, Preston?
Absolutely. It's very restorative, very relaxing.
Wonderful. Well, if you want to check out Gravity Yoga here in Coquitlam, you can, of course, check out gravityyoga.ca. They have an open house, a free open house happening on April 5th, and also a yoga challenge about to start there. Jody, for more details, again, go to gravityyoga.ca. I'm just going to stay here for the rest of the morning. See ya.